Hey everyone, how we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit, and welcome back to another video. And as part of the Ask SplitSuit a Question series, a bunch of people asked hand history questions. This one actually came privately via email, and Robert just wants me to review this spot with pocket aces. So let's check it out. Okay, so this hand is from 5 No Limit on PokerStars. There's a limp under the gun by Ginger, folds around, here decides to attack. And I like that we're attacking. I'd just be a little nitpicky and say go 5x here, go up to 25 cents versus 20. It's a little nitpicky, but I just expect it to be more valuable. And we end up getting called by Ginger. And Robert says over 25 hands, he's a 29-8, and he has a call c-bet of 100%, call turn c-bet of 100%. And the only thing he could conclude from these stats was that Villain was quite passive pre-flop. And I'd say that is 100% what we want to glean from this. We can't glean anything post-flop, really. Our sample sizes of 1 back there. But 29-8 over 25 hands, definitely shaping up to be someone who has a huge gap in the VPIP. PFR denotes a ton of passivity, and an open limp from under the gun is a very, very passive action. The fact that he just limp called, again, another passive action. So yes, this is someone who plays way too many hands, is going to play them passively, at least pre-flop, and we'll just go from there. So we end up flopping top set, which is always a little bit awkward because we kind of choke out a lot of the ways for him to continue and pay us off with second best hands, but we're always going to do our best to still try to make sure we maximize value, even though understanding in situations like this we won't always get action. It just is what it is. It's built into the equation. So we get a check, here decides to bet, and I love that we're betting. My only gripe is going to be with the size. Now, someone like this with a big gap in the VPIP PFR, I oftentimes think is also going to be a little bit more passive, calling station-y post-flop. So because of that, I just assume that if he's going to continue, he's going to do so relatively inelastically, meaning that he's going to continue kind of regardless of what the size is. Now, obviously, if we shove, I think, at that point, there's some elasticity. But I think that if we go 20 cents versus, say, 30 or 35 cents, the continuance is going to be pretty similar regardless of which size we choose. So because of that, I'd really like to see like a 35-cent bet here. I think that if he has the case ace, he's going to continue. If he has a king, I expect more inelasticity, at least on this street. And if he has a gut shot, I think he's going to continue for 20 cents and 35 cents at roughly the same frequency. So because of that, let's just generate more value. Is he going to continue every time? Of course not. If he has something like pocket fours, he'll probably fold a lot of the time, and that sucks, but he's probably going to fold if we bet 20 cents or 35 cents. So again, we're back to bet larger, generate more value, go from there. Okay, so after we bet, we end up getting called by Ginger. Go to the turn, which is a brick 5. He checks. Here decides to bet. And again, very happy that we're continuing to bet here, but my gripe again is going to be with the size. Again, if he's going to continue for 50 with a draw, with King X, with the case ace, why wouldn't he continue for 65 cents or 70 cents or something like that? So again, I think the bigger we go here, if he really is shaping up to be a passive, more calling station-y type player, we should just use larger sizing totally for value. And just for the record, there are some people where I'd even just pot it here. Again, I'm not going to get action 100% of the time, but when I do, I generate so much more value. So at least consider that. And this all really heavily relates to something called pot geometry. If you're not really sure what the heck that is, I did a quick plays video on it, and I'll link that in the description box. But pot geometry is essentially what every bet put in or not put into the middle does to the final pot size. And essentially, even just slight changes in earlier betting rounds, like pre-flop and on the flop and on the turn, can drastically change the final pot size and how much we can even make on a river bet. So because of that, I'd really like to see this be a little bit larger, totally for value, assuming the second best hands will still continue even for a slightly larger size. And if he's going to fold a gut shot for 50 cents, he's definitely going to fold it for 70 cents, but we make a lot more value the times he has the case ace or a cry call king, or he decides to overpay for a draw. So again, larger is better here. End up getting called board pair on the river, which is, the greatest thing ever, really easy, and we're still in value bet mode, and hero decides to bet again. So still happy that we're betting. Size-wise can probably go a little bit larger here, probably like $1.40, $1.50. I'm just assuming that obviously all busted draws are going to check fold. It is what it is. I don't really think he's going to like check shove a busted draw regardless of our size. He really hasn't shown any propensity so far to be aggressive. So I don't think that's going to happen. It's really just how much can I bet to get max value from the case ace or cry call king. and I think we can go a little bit larger for those kind of things. So I'd like to see this be like $1.50. But again, like if we made those slightly smaller changes earlier, again, the extra 5 cents pre-flop, the extra 10 cents on the flop, the extra 15 to 20 cents on the turn, those things will change the final pot size. And all of a sudden there's like an extra dollar or so in the middle. And now all of a sudden we can get an even bigger river bet. So just keep these kind of things in mind as you're playing hands. Bet sizing is really, really crucial, and it's not like the first thing I tell a newer player to focus on because, there's a lot of art to bet sizing well, but it's one of those things where if you worked on a lot of the fundamental parts of your game, getting good at bet sizing is a really, really, really important part of the puzzle that can help you generate a tremendous amount of extra edge. So I'd just like to see this be a little bit larger as well. End up getting a call and have the best hand and win, and that's all well and good. But again, the major important thing is bet sizing in this hand. Bigger sizing all the way around works with the pot geometry and generates us a lot more value. So Robert, thanks for the great hand, and if you or anyone else has a poker-related hand or question, feel free to leave it on our Google Plus page. I'll leave a link for that in the description box, and also please make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this type of video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, good luck out there, and happy grinding.